I think when people like yourself write books like Random Reflections, which is all about love, life, loss, and longing, and I've been through your book, and I'll tell you why it is important to for other people or people like myself, because it's true that whatever you've written in the book is not new.
Mhm.
It's not original.
Mhm.
Almost every other human on this planet goes through the same
Yes, yes,
things.
yes, yes.
But when somebody pens them down,
Mhm.
puts them in, black
Yes.
and white,
Mhm.
it gets validated.
Yes.
So when you read them, you don't feel alone. You don't feel that, okay, am I the only person going through this? What is Jay Jagdev craving for now at this age?
I'm craving. I mean, I think I should be very little conscious that to analyze that what I'm craving at the moment. I'm not prepared for this question. In fact,
Is that the reason why you think, Jay, we don't have a lot of startups and entrepreneurship in the state?
precisely because of that. We are what we celebrate was a job. A job doesn't contribute anything to the economy. If you look at it, it doesn't add anything to the state. He lifts up the state. He lifts up other people's taxes. So he's not the one who is going to contribute. An entrepreneur contributes. He creates jobs. He brings in new ideas. He becomes a new innovation. The current generation doesn't know how to read Odia alphabets or Odia scripts. So then you can make them listen. See, reading or a book is about a 200-year-old thing.
Mm,
We had oral histories.
correct.
In our homes, we talk in Odia. But if I
Correct.
throw a book at my daughter, I said, "Okay, now read it." Maybe she had stopped reading it when after leaving her school.
Correct.
So then, how do I introduce those things to them?
Hi, and welcome back to yet another episode of Tea with Tanya. Today's guest is a dreamer misfit, IT trailblazer. He merges and bridges governance, IT, technology, sustainability as easily as he grows a garden larger than his house. Welcoming to the show, Jay Jagdev, namaskar.
Thank you so
Welcome
much.
to the show.
It's my pleasure.
So tell us, who exactly is Jay?
I wear a lot of hats. I need to take one hat at a time. So I am an IT entrepreneur. I'm an academic. I'm a communicator. I'm basically a what you call that conservation enthusiast, heritage enthusiast. Look at our own culture, and I really try very hard to preserve it so that at least we leave it for the next generation and learn from it. I'm a writer, and I've got two published books available. I'm working on my multiple projects as well, and I'm trying to be a farmer to grow my own food. So many things together.
Right. So let's take one hat at a time, and let's start with your IT entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
You are famously known as an IT entrepreneur in the city of Bhubaneswar. You started way back in the 90s. What was the world like then when you started your entrepreneurship in IT?
Yeah. So, when we started, that was way back in 1991. I was thrown into the world of business because I had excluded my taking up a job anywhere, or I did never saw myself as somebody who would be working in a corporate or in a government setup. I just wanted to do something on my own. I was creative. I was what you call impractically romantic about changing things around me. So that's what I thought. Let's do something on our own. And we started without actually a template, without a vision, and we thought that we will solve some problems, make a living. That's how it started, with a very, very innocent perspective about what we need to sustain ourselves in a business environment. It started very small.
Mm-hmm.
And business, if you look at how business was at the moment, at that time, you would not remember, maybe your parents can relate to that more. It was basically the traditional business as we see business as. It was basically trading, it was basically a distributor, a dealer, general order supplies. There was also a thing called, small manufacturing. I'm talking about the Odisha situation. I'm not talking about India as such. Small manufacturing setups. And in fact, the biggest industry at that time was actually how to collapse industries, making a industry, registering it, and making it sick, and taking money out of it. In fact, was the order of the day at that particular time. So at that point of time, we thought we will do something with three or four friends together without knowing much about the market. But we knew that this is what it is emerging, and this is what is a clean business. You can start something without much of capital. We had the technical know-hows, we know how to do it, but it really didn't require a huge capital to start business. So that suited us. And we started at that time in 1991 to be precise.
But Jay, in the 90s, IT was still a very, visionary project. I mean, most of the people your age back in 91 would be actually looking towards a conventional career path. But you chose to be non-conventional about it. You chose a career path where you were not only a business person, but you were also running a business that would have its impact way later in the future and not immediately. So how did that work out for you?
Like in the beginning, I said that for me, a job or a conventional carry was never an option. I never really wanted to be slotted in a particular position, to be given a job description to do such things, which my performance is evaluated on what I'm being asked to do and how much did I deliver. I never wanted to be there. I wanted to be on my own. I wanted to solve something, do something, and to not to be suffocated or guardrailed by the organizational protocols.
Mhm.
So we started, and we really saw at that time that is a requirement that there are organizations, and we were already exposed to the various organizations, mostly the government. Odisha means government. There's not much of private enterprises here. That they wanted, there's a lot of backlog. They wanted, the number was growing, the volumes were growing, the backlogs were also building up. There was this thing called electronic data processing, EDP, they were called. That they don't have to have a hardware, or they do not know how to write the codes or the software. They just say, Ki, we have got manual data available, which is yet to be processed, is piling up. The rooms are now choked with all such things. Now they have to be cleared, they have to be streamlined, they have to be processed. And the output, we are bothered about the output.
Mhm.
We want that legacy to be cleaned and the output to be given to us. So
Correct.
that was what we started for, aiming at those things. So we did quite a bit of work in that place. And we had our, in fact, we made our name in those sectors, be it energy, be it education, be it microfinances. We had our impact on those things. That continued till about 99, 2000, till the
Mm.
real IT revolution started.
You're right. When you started with your parameter software, what were the initial challenges you faced in the eastern part of this country?
Yeah, challenges, if you look at it, was mostly, in terms of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
People did not know what computerization means.
Mm-hmm.
The computerization per se was limited to a PC. Computer was still a fancy word. It was seen as something which would take away jobs. All the trade unions and all the banks and all the government offices were resisting it. They never wanted computers. Computers are seen as something which is going to disrupt, like the way we are seeing AI now. Computers were actually the AIs of 90s. They never wanted that. But there were visionaries, organizational leaders who could see that they have got gathered so much of volume by a particular date that they have to go for computerization. Otherwise, manually it is not possible.
Mm-hmm.
The beauty of computerization is that it aggregates things. I'm talking about our time.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a million records. So
Mm-hmm.
how do you get the aggregated data of it? So
Right.
they thought, as an organization head, we need those kind of data. Awareness was a challenge. They did not know also how to really price it. Suppose we also
Mm-hmm.
wanted to price it. There was nothing, reference pricing was not there.
Mm-hmm.
The process standardization was also not there. There was also resistance by the organization that why computer? Otherwise, we will lose our jobs. Also, people were resistant to transparency as well. Not many people were very happy to hand over their organizational data to outside firms to handle. And also, there was also the initial challenges were in terms of non-standardization.
Mm-hmm.
How to compare A with B?
Mm-hmm.
If A is good or B is bad.
Or who
So
to
how to do?
choose? Mm-hmm.
So how to choose somebody? So the government selection processes and things were basically driven by tendering processes.
Mm-hmm.
The lowest price.
Mm-hmm.
But services cannot be a low price thing always. So
They're
really,
about
we had to
quality,
go
yes.
through that, suffered the financial. We always had to try our best to be the L1.
Mm-hmm.
L1, you don't get service at L1.
Mm-hmm.
But we struggled through that phase and did that.
Right. So, what are the changes that you have seen the IT sector go through since 91 when you first founded Parameter Software and now that we are living in, OpenAI, in the generation of OpenAI and all those trending AI tools? What is the leap that you see?
Huge. I mean, the what we had started with and what we are seeing now is a completely metamorphosed version of it. I mean, we cannot compare that with this now. Then having a computer in your room was aspirational thing,
Very
a
luxurious.
very luxurious thing. So only few people had access to a computer, and normally people in the back end would process something and make it available for them in the computer. Computer was not a part of the workflow.
Mhm.
With the banking computerization, the office computerization happened, and the workflow got computerized. So slowly and slowly, people started working on computer. Otherwise, it was a CEO's luxury item which was next to his table for him to really access some file which is being sent by his secretary, just to approve that particular thing to be sent manually. So let's break it down into 90s to 2000, 2000 to
2010 maybe.
2010. So, if you look, the Y2K thing started, America opened up, America needed huge level of manpower, huge number of people from India started migrating to India. Bangalore happened. I've seen Bangalore, I mean, starting with, small enterprises, people from various PSUs, after retirement, they're setting up their shops and coming up with a lot of product. Odisha, if you look at Odisha, was also going in tandem. Odisha was not very much at par with them in terms of development of products and latching on to cutting edge technology and services. It's only very recently, if you look at, TVA 2025, then let's say that, okay, about 20 years back or 15 years back, Odisha started developing products which is, at par. A lot of national level agencies, they came here. That also, kind of put a pressure back on local agencies like us that, our people are going and doing there. Why can't we do that? And the things opened up. America was also a big thing.
Mhm.
So people moved out of Odisha to America. They came back and they had their production center here. So it has undergone huge changes. And now we are operating in offices where there are not even computers.
Correct.
Computers have become invisible.
Hmm.
So when it was aspirational, now it has entered our DNA, our workflow so much,
It's so deeply
so deeply
invaded.
embedded that you don't have to have a server, you don't have to have a hardware, you don't have to have anything, but still all the processes are computerized. That's what we are
Correct.
going for in AI.
Right. So, how did you manage to keep parameters softwares afloat, especially given the kind of slow change that Bhubaneswar itself was going through
Mhm.
as compared to the other, we were changing at a glacial speed, but they were changing at a way, way exponential speed. So, how did you manage to keep yourself afloat at that time?
Like I said, most of we were in GovTech. In GovTech, basically technology related to government and governance. We were mostly GovTech. We were not exactly banking or insurance or health or education sector. We were in the GovTech. So if you look at the pace of change,
Mhm.
government is more glacial than anybody else.
Absolutely.
So we moved along with that.
Uh-huh.
And as I said, we worked with organizations for quite some time. Suppose we had one organization, we would be working with them for 10 years,
Mhm.
another organization for another 10 years,
Long
So
term.
we kind of grew with them.
Mhm.
And the pace was as the government would
Want it to be.
want it to be or accept it to be.
Mhm.
Too fast changes. In government, you cannot really bring about radical changes in the processes. The processes are still very archaic, pretty colonial, I'll say. Still, the processes are very colonial. So even if you're seeing huge amount of computerization in the government sector, it is primarily the technology which faces the end customer. But the internal working is still that
Pretty embedded,
pretty
yes.
much the same things happening, but
Right.
the one which faces the customers or the
The front
beneficiaries,
lines.
the frontliners. It's only
Right.
changes happen there.
So, Jay, when we started this conversation, I introduced you to our audience as
Mhm.
a dreamer misfit,
Mhm.
right? Would you identify yourself as a dreamer misfit?
Dreamer, somehow he has been able to fit into situations. Dream a lot because an entrepreneur without a dream is not an entrepreneur. We
Mhm.
keep on dreaming about things which is little ahead of time. It makes us very, very impractical, in fact.
But you've channelized your dreams into so many different lanes that it's not stuck with entrepreneurship
Yes,
now.
yes.
And how did that happen?
See, as you grow, you just grow that there you have good aspects to yourself. So there are deep inside. So, like I said, everyone a hardcore computer professional, starting, dealing with GovTechs and all those areas, and suddenly discover that you have the ability to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you grow older,
Mm-hmm.
you discover that you are actually carrying a lot of stories with you.
Correct.
So you start sharing those stories with people.
Mm-hmm.
communication is a very much a part of the essential part of any service that you can think of. In fact, the whole AI is all about communication also. So you start discovering, and you age, you have your exposure, you analyze yourself, your ecosystem, your periphery. Then you discover that there are things to be said, and there are various genres of writing. So you start writing about things, documenting things, which we usually do. When you're writing a proposal, you're basically writing a story
Right.
with technically data and
Right. Statistics.
infographics to statistics. Otherwise, it's a story.
It's
You
a
write a
story.
story. So storytelling was pretty much there. So we just changed the topic to something which is human centric and human interest stories, and it started in way back in 2014. I started writing, and I started writing, and various publications picked it up. And social media was happening. I was on Facebook. I was writing my funny lines here and there. So kind of it caught on.
Right. But a lot of people think a lot of things. They have so many stories they carry with them, but not everybody is a writer. It takes something real, that extra kick to take you to that table, to hold that pen and put that ink blotch on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
What was your moment of that motivation?
So I was traveling once with my family from Sambalpur to Bhubaneswar, and a little unpleasant thing happened on the way.
Okay.
And I saw my son in the backseat of my car, silently crying. And that moment, I wanted to tell him that why I didn't react. Otherwise, it would have turned into a road rage.
Mm-hmm. He got scared.
He got scared because for the first time in his life, he saw somebody abusing his father.
Kids don't
Not
take it really
kids
well.
don't take it kindly. Not they were shocked for the first time. I saw him sobbing, and I thought, let me leave my messages for him to read later when he would have grown up. So that prompted me to, in fact, write my second blog. We call that. Then it was not called a blog. It's just an article. It is basically my analysis of the situation and my decision why not to react. The reason behind my not reacting at that moment, I couldn't have told him that when he was hardly 4 years of age. So I thought, okay, let me store it for him. So when he grows up,
You'll
he
tell
would he will
him
see the merit of my not reacting at that moment. Otherwise, it would have
why it was wiser.
why it was wiser for me not to do it. So it started like that. Then once you do one thing, then you know that okay, this is the format, and this you can do. You see a lot of things happening around you. You have got opinions about so much of things, and you start writing. And in fact, I kept on writing. So about 40-50 blogs I did. That was regularly getting published, and I compiled them into one book. And Random Reflection was the book which got published in 2024. In fact, I was initially very hesitant not to turn that into a book. I said, okay, well, people have read it, what's new about it? But many people prodded me to do that. The book is a book.
I think when people like yourself write books like Random Reflections, which is all about love, life, loss, and longing, and I've been through your book, and I'll tell you why it is important for other people or people like myself, because it's true that whatever you've written in the book is not new. It's not original. Almost every other human on this planet goes through the same
Yes, yes,
things.
yes,
But when somebody pens them down, puts them in, black
yes.
and white,
Mhm.
it gets validated.
Yes.
So when you read them, you don't feel alone. You don't feel that, okay, am I the only person going through this? And you stop asking vague questions like, why me? Why is this happening to me? Or why did this happen to her or him? So it is important that people like you who've seen, both sides of life and been through life, and when you put them down, it makes life easier for people like
Oh,
myself.
that's what the idea for writing a book is, that that people would see that they were not alone.
They were not alone.
People also have gone through the similar things. They also have come out of those feelings. So that's the wonderful part about the book. In fact, the book is not Random Reflection. It's When Blood Becomes Ink is the book of poems. So in that, the book is about life, love, loss, and
Oh, I'm
longing.
sorry. I think
the name of the book is uh, When Blood Becomes Ink. Because if you look at your life and the phase of life, it can be very well broken them into these experiences. Life is
Correct.
the white
Big
canvas
canvas,
that you
huh?
have. And there we get attached with people, attached with things, attached with our wishes, attached with our desires, and we also lose them. So life, love and loss are
Correct.
two things continuously happening,
Very
continuous,
parallel.
very
Very.
parallel. No, it's not. I'm not say parallel. They're actually one after the other. You would be losing something. You'll be acquiring new things every
New
day.
things, yeah.
And what till you die,
Hmm.
till you die, you have a memory. If your memory is serving you well, you would have that thing, longing for your past, remembering your past, and you at this age also you remember that how my school days were, how my nani ka ghar tha. We used to travel like that. We always long for things, silently, though we're in the present, but be it a happy longing or be it a sad longing, whatever it is, our memory is basically we are craving for something. So these four themes, my poems are basically on four things.
What is Jay Jagdev craving for now at this age?
I'm craving. I mean, I think I should be very little conscious that to analyze that what I'm craving at the moment. I'm not prepared for this question. In fact,
Which is why it's going to be a good question.
so the we at this age actually you crave for harmony, you crave for peace, you crave for things to happen
At
uh,
their own pace.
at their own pace. Not much of aspirational thing that this should happen.
Hmm.
My aspirations are that why can't the world be a little peaceful? Why we see so much of disturbance? Why see so much of violence around us? Unprovoked violences, when it was not necessary, you irritate people, you provoke people into violence, and you lapse into violence, and we keep discussing about it. Life can be pretty simple, life can be small, life can be easy. Why can't we have that?
When people talk about entrepreneurs, especially IT entrepreneurs, especially the kind of shift people have been seeing the world go through right now, we usually think about luxury homes, luxury cars, luxury watches, Armani suits. That's what the first picture is all about. But when I met you, you were an IT entrepreneur who was trying really, really hard to become a farmer.
Mhm.
Help me understand that.
Yeah. So actually, it's a very very easy thing to put on the table and excite people into entrepreneurship. I met this what do you call that? The motivational speaker. He was in a management college. He says, when do you want to buy your first BMW?
Mm-hmm.
At which age? I was in the panel. I was looking at it. I never aspired to have a BMW. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And my kick was coming from achieving something, proving something, doing something tangible. Those material things for me, maybe I'm an exception, but material things never drove me. What drove me was the impact of it. If we could bring about a change, if we could, make, we could see happiness in the client's face in terms of, okay, we made it easy for them. Now it is so easy. That sigh of
Relief.
relief, things are so easy now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what drove us, in fact. I never had a BMW, nor do I aspire to have a, I'll be scared to in fact drive a BMW. My son will be scared more because we are because we don't have the money to maintain that BMW repair.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody gives me a Ferrari, then I'll say, okay, theek hai.
Mm.
I can't afford to maintain it. So that's the model which perhaps the startup companies and this valuation driven companies created that kind of a myth. Entrepreneurship was not this valuation game. This valuation game has come recently. Oh, unicorn ho gaya. Then after 6 months, he's bust. He's on the road. This bubble thing happened, which is a perception that somebody is going to make big. And we were not a part of that valuation game at all. So for the book value and the market value, we understood the difference pretty late in our life. For us, it has to be sustainable, it has to be profitable. We have to make a reasonable amount of profit so that at least we have enough to sustain our organization during the rainy days. That's what was the motivation was. It was never beyond that.
So, Jay, I'll pull your attention back to the beginning of our conversation when you mentioned, like the trend of operating in businesses back in the time when you started Parameter Software
Mhm.
was make the business sick and then gain profit out of it and then shut it down, move on to the next project or next business. But you did not want to be a part of that and you made sure that you're not. Now, we are also looking at another trend in
Mhm.
2025, or
Mhm.
let's say this decade has been seeing a
Mhm.
different kind of a trend.
Mhm.
People are creating bubbles around themselves, like you mentioned, like abhi unicorn ho gaya, 6 mahine baad road pe hai. So, my question is, you are not identifying to either of the two models,
Yeah.
right? So you yourself as an entrepreneur, what kind of a business model you look up to?
A business has to be sustainable. Number one, it has to earn profit. I'm a student of economics. I understand that you are creating value. You have to keep a certain amount of value for yourself as the surplus, and give more value to the customer you are serving. So that way, we are a traditional thing. Not the Series A funder will make money by selling it to Series B funder. Series B will keep on.
The
He will
chain
burn
reaction,
things
huh?
to inflate it in the market, and ultimately it goes to somebody who loses money. This whole money burning business to create a perception at the same time is basically, I feel, I mean, it may sound little, harsh here.
Hmm.
Someone is cheating somebody by
Always.
creating a false perception
Hmm.
and profiting out of it. The same thing was also happening during our days when actually there was a huge lot of government subsidies. Government was promoting. So if you have connections, you take an industrial seed, you take a easy loan from OSFC, you show that you are doing it, you are not doing it. So they were actually the people who were the maggots who lived on the dead cells. They were not the entrepreneurs. But in fact, that drove the entrepreneurial discussion. Otherwise, Odisha as a state was. See, we are also still celebrating the OPSC releasing its OS list. So, what if 20 people get into a service? What if
Right.
15 people get into IS? Is it going to impact the
A
economy in
market
any
is still
way?
lagging.
So, where are we? So, we still celebrate that.
Hmm.
So, Odisha is still a Naukri Sudha type of thing,
People are still very much into government, sarkari
Government,
naukri hona chahiye.
no, in fact, they are celebrated. I don't know
Hmm.
why they are celebrated. They are celebrated. So, a few days back, the OS result came out, OPSC, and the state went into a celebration.
Frenzy.
Interviews were happening about how many. I said, so what?
Is that the reason why you think, Jay, we don't have a lot of startups and entrepreneurship in the state?
Precisely because of that. We are what we celebrate was a job. A job doesn't contribute anything to the economy. If you look at it, it doesn't add anything to the state. He lifts up the state, lifts up other people's taxes. So he's not the one who is going to contribute. An entrepreneur contributes. He creates jobs. He brings in new ideas. He becomes a new innovation. So imagine sadly here in a I was called once to a meeting where actually I was supposed to introduce myself. People gave long-winded introduction of themselves. I just ended it by saying that okay, I am a job giver. I give jobs
Straight to the point.
because that's what the difference is.
Hmm.
You have a job, but I give jobs. So when people start celebrating people who are creating jobs, adding to the economy, creating hundred of people who actually have bread available in their house because of somebody's entrepreneurial initiative, we will see a difference. That's what is already happening in Gujarat,
Yeah, I was about to come there.
Tamil
Yeah,
Nadu.
when you contrast Gujarat to Odisha, like when you contrast Gujarat to the west to the east
Hmm.
of Odisha, the chasm is huge. It's actually gaping at us, questioning us. Why are we still so far behind in entrepreneurship?
Because we're not adding anything to the economy. We want to take a part of our economy. A job takes a part of the economy. So now there's a scampering, there's a competition to grab that bit. So there are 100 people, all aspire to have a job.
Hmm.
If everybody is becoming job, who is going to give them a job?
Everybody's a job seeker. So who creates job?
Who creates jobs? So that's perfectly fine. Not everybody can be entrepreneur. We don't expect them. At least let there be 10 people who are entrepreneurs. Let there be 20 people who are seeking
Let there be
jobs.
some fire to stoke, right?
Exactly. So it's a very cultural thing. It's a very cultural thing. Deeply because Odisha's entrepreneurial history is about 20, 30 years. We need another 100 years at least for people to be
To be able to
confident.
match up?
To be confident. If you look at Gujarat's history of business, it dates back to 500 years.
I don't think we're ever going to match up.
No, but you have no option.
We
You
at
have
least
no
have to
option.
get into the race first.
When you are inviting investment here, what are you inviting? You're not asking a job seeker here. You're expecting a job giver here.
Yeah, right.
Okay. When you're thinking invest in Odisha, what do you mean by invest in Odisha? Come and set up your shop here so that you can offer jobs to others. So you are inviting an entrepreneur.
So why invite outsiders? Why not give that chance to our own insiders?
We don't have time. We don't have time to really wait that long. If you look at the number of people who are going to come out of the engineering colleges, The
the
qualified people, the
generation.
generation available, they have to be given a job. Where are the all the big IT companies are reducing this. Amazon is sacking, reducing the seats. TCS has already done that. Amazon is did that 14,000. They retrenched, and they are going to do it 30,000. Can you imagine the number of engineering colleges we have, and the IT and those computer science students? What are they going to be placed at?
Correct.
That's going to be a huge problem. So that's going to be panic. I mean, I'm expecting a civil unrest in the colleges in the near future when the people would have paid through their nose.
But there is demand, but there is not a supply chain.
This place, there's nobody because organizations like TCS are not going to
I
take in
think
thousands.
Bhubaneswar went under one such wave like maybe 5-6 years ago. A lot of mushroom engineering colleges got shut down because of the same issue. Yes, I think I can see what you're pointing at.
Even the current volumes being
Hmm.
generated by the engineering colleges, the IT companies are not going to take them.
Hmm.
The discussion is not happening, but is happening in private spaces. Now there are colleges with 5,000, 2,000, 3,000 engineering students in IT alone. And to tell you the fact, they were not actually giving IT services. They were not IT professionals. They were just IT trained
Individuals. Hmm.
who did non-IT jobs in the IT companies.
Okay.
So if you look at the bulk of the engagement was happening not because they were doing an IT job.
Hmm.
They were there shown as something. There was a lot of darkest side of the whole IT thing story. They were not technical at all. So when those things are going to be replaced by AI is going to replace those workflows. Then you don't need anybody. Then how
We
are you
were
going to
already
engage them?
lagging behind, and now there is a huge gap.
No, they are unskilled. If you look at the present skill requirement, they are
And yeah,
unskilled.
of course.
They are as good as a general graduate of any college. Then where are they going to be placed? So that's a big concern now. That's a big concern, and we don't have alternative to our mining industry. IT came to our rescue. It created a false sense of comfort by engaging so many people in the IT. And if you look at from 2000 to 25 years, we just have pulled along, starting from people from rural areas. They are now in America. This bubble was going bigger, 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 and it's the time for it has come to burst. Then imagine what's going to be the rural scene. The people who had gone to America, the people who are in Bangalore, they are going to lose jobs. So what are you going to do in Bangalore?
And
You
which
don't
is
have
why
a
you
job.
pointed out we might be looking at a civil unrest soon.
Soon, very soon. I mean, you better be careful about it. The colleges, with the promise that they are going to give placements,
Hence the bulky fees.
bulk fees, and everybody has been feasting on the what do you call that grubs available at that time. Everybody feasted on that. Now the business model is going to change, and now what I'm going to see is that it's only people with the attitude and the aptitude to be a coder, a real techie. But in that case, do you have the right professionals to train them up to be like
Train
that?
them. So we're looking at least 4 to 5 generations down the line where we can start actually seeing a very tangible change in the generation and the kind of skill sets
By
we
then, the ground realities would have shifted again.
shifted, correct. The science would have
We are
shifted, the
missing
trends
out.
would have been
India
shifted.
as a whole is missing out on the whole thing. The technology, if you look at the global technology level, let's take the America and China as the two, places where actual technology sometime back was being created. China was the biggest manufacturing unit. Now, China, last 20 years, they saw that why they are dependent on America. They built those stacks. Now they're at
And
par.
they've
They have
completely
technology. Can't you see that? Automobile has from Europe and America has already shifted to China. EVs have come. All these
Right.
things have come. So what is left in other European countries or anything else? So it's like, so it will be China, China, China. And we are the neighbors.
So is this why you took a pen and you started writing because now you want the world, you want to sit, relax, watch the world change in front of you?
Because we after some time we will be relevant. The change would have happened so much that we will be relevant. And COVID actually was the triggering point. During
It was a pivot point for a lot of
yes, a
things.
pivot point. So we realized that actually COVID is the time. It gave us a lot of time to think and say that what are we here for? I mean, it kind of rattled us at the core. When we're not allowed to come out of your home and kind of you have to stay inside without any discussion about how much of money you're going to earn or how you're going to eat, but just stay inside and stay there. So that's the time took a lot of idea that, what are you going to do if the situation is going to, and let's not exclude the possibility of another pandemic happening.
Of course.
It can happen. It can happen. And the way the world has integrated, the way the world is connected now, you never know, because in Wuhan it happened in November or December. By February, March, it is a global phenomenon. It is not limited to any single geography now. It can happen.
We are all cosmopolitans. We keep moving.
Very connected.
Very connected.
So that way, we have to be prepared to be absolutely agile. Live big, dream big. The things in the
But stay
disaster
rooted.
happens, go to the bunker, stay small.
So, do you have a bunker?
Yeah, I'd build one.
Really?
That's bunker. That's like I shifted to.
That was a very impromptu question. It was like right from the top of my head. I didn't expect a yes.
In fact, I call that a disaster bunker, because I this a friend of mine who is a doctor in an Apollo hospital. He said during the COVID time, the people who stayed in Bhubaneswar suffered. He went to his village in Balasore. He's the urologist in Apollo. So he said, how did you manage? I said, people here craved, their EMI has to be solved. They were really suffering. We went, and he said, within a budget of 5,000 rupees a month, we could manage our whole family.
Yeah, and there
was
no
enough grain, there was paddy, there was fish, there was vegetables, all were growing. And COVID was not happening in villages.
Right.
They call that urban disease. So he said, keep for 2-3 months, we were comfortably, in 5,000 rupees they lived. So that triggered my idea. So because of a disaster, what we actually need?
A safe space.
A safe space. Electricity, water.
The basic amenities.
The basic food also. In COVID time, I was seeing that the amount of wrappers in our trash can, there was no wrappers in the trash can. The amount of trash which we created every day was minimal, this much. Compare it now. One pizza order, a family pizza, will create a truckload of cartons.
Correct.
So that's the unnecessary consumption actually we are indulging in. So you should have a place, I thought, that where actually in case of a disaster, you consciously can go and live small. Not if you have built an empire in the urban center, you need 6 ACs to keep it cool. But if you build a small cottage in the village, keep the windows open and it's cool. So that's what prompted me to really build a disaster home. You can run away from it all, stay alone, do your things.
But you've been using your bunker more than just for disaster, right? It's your go-to place.
It's my go-to place. That's what, you can be alone. You can call your friends over. You can think. You can remain in silence. I said the reason I go to do that bunker is basically to do nothing and think everything. So you're sitting idle. You carry your thoughts there. And these days, if you look at there's not much of a difference between a urban habitation and a village cottage. The houses are modern. You have got electricity. You have got running water. You have got fantastic road leading up to your house. Then how it is different from Bhubaneswar?
But you also grow your own food.
Yeah, we do that. It hasn't reached the scale I would want it to. There are teething issues. You have got vermins. You have got monkeys. You don't really get the.
With all organic farming, the problems come.
Been so. But not fully organic, not certified organic. But idea is that in at least 1 or 2 years, we should be in a position to grow our own vegetables. So the backyard farming, a family's requirement for vegetables is minimal. Very small amount of vegetable you need, and you can pluck them while you were taking a walk around your backyard. So you don't have to have a farming thing done. You just have to have the right kind of plants in a very random fashion. So some tree will be giving you something, like one tree is giving you guava, another thing is giving you curry leaves. Another thing is giving you 2 tomatoes, another thing is giving you some beans. So that's your vegetable for the day. You
take out the choice and life starts becoming simpler.
Yes. But that is how actually our sustainable gardens were earlier. If you look at our grandfather's time, they almost had every kind of trees in their garden. And every day they would have something unique. And they would do the recipes around the thing they would pluck. Not plan a recipe, then go to the shop to buy those things. They will find those things, then design the recipe after that. So it was basically driven by what we have on the plate today or what we have in the basket today. The recipe will be accordingly. And in Odisha, we have got fantastic thing like Santura and Dalma. You can put everything inside and turn two things out of it. So
Absolutely true. Let's talk about your third hat. You are also a conservationist at heart. You believe in being, mindful about the kind of environment you share with others, the ecosystem sustainability, and you also talk about heritage conservation. Tell us about that.
yeah, in 2000, in fact, in 2019, I was in Bangalore. I discovered that actually our current generation,
Hmm.
like the next generation to ours, they're completely disconnected from our literary history. We had our exposure to literature during our school days, and we also were interacting and dealing with people who are familiar with those kind of literature or the body of literature that we have. What are we when we say that Odia Asmita?
Hmm.
We are talking
Odia
about Odia
integrity.
identity. So what is Odia identity? It's
Hmm.
Odia culture.
Hmm.
It's not
But are
Odia
we aware?
appearance. Otherwise, yeah, Andhra, Odisha, and Bengal, they all look alike.
Hmm.
But fact is that what differentiates us, let Asmita not be seen in the connotation of its pride.
Hmm.
It's about identity.
Correct.
So your identity is your language.
Hmm.
Identity is awareness of your past.
Hmm.
Identity about your art, culture, food, preferences, influences that you had, and how that has changed. So it's about heritage. So we just decided to start a not-for-profit organization called Udayagiri Foundation, named after my village again. And we started, so let's use the modern technology, like information technology, to make those contents available to the young generation, which they can consume easily. So we worked on access, how do they access? If I say that the Odiyas have to be, Odia, if you really want to read something, know something about Odia short story or about the poets, you have to read. The current generation doesn't know how to read Odia alphabets or Odia scripts. So then you can make them listen. See, reading or a book is about a 200-year-old thing.
Hmm.
We had oral histories.
Correct.
In our homes, we talk in Odia. But if I
Correct.
throw a book at my daughter, I said, "Okay, now read it." Maybe she had stopped reading it when after leaving her school.
Hmm. Correct.
So then, how do I introduce those things to them?
Hmm. Bring them
So
back.
we started something called Recite World.
Hmm.
It's a website. Recite.world is the website. You go to the Recite.world and find 40, 50 the short stories which represent Odisha
Hmm.
over a period of time.
Hmm.
So their stories are available in audiobook format. You
Nice.
can go and listen to
And
audiobook.
is it open access?
Yeah, absolutely open access. It's free. It's not for profit, and we don't charge any. There's no subscription. You can we take donations from people and would process it, and it's available for lifetime. Then we also thought about heritage sites.
Hmm.
If you look at Bhubaneswar itself, you have got hundreds and hundreds of which you cannot know humanly.
Correct.
Humanly, you cannot know. How many people from Bhubaneswar would have gone to Khandagiri, Udayagiri, taken that time to really read those things written there?
Hmm.
People would have gone there to do something funny or have some good time, but how many people would actually make a conscious effort? How many would actually know that actually Kharabadu was a Jain? The period in which all the drama was happening, the Ashokan edicts. How many people actually? So I thought, there are many people not in Odisha, but they are interested to know about it also. So why not create a digital, virtual walkthrough to such places where actually people can visit those places virtually. So we started something called a Heritage Walk online. That's also available online. Then we started doing it something.
So I'll
Yeah,
just so for all the people who are watching us and want to know more about Udayguri Foundation or what kind of work they do, what kind of heritage walks we're talking about, or Recital World, we'll put the links in the description down below. You can definitely click on them and check them out.
yeah, that'll be wonderful. That'll be wonderful. Then people can also go to the description box and get that. Then we did something called Creative Commune. Creative Commune was there are a lot of creative people around, but ultimately, how do you know about a person and his skills, what his past? So we developed a yellow page kind of for creative people about we call a creative commune that we launched it yesterday. Writers, proofreaders, editors, translators, people who do illustrations, people who are graphic artists. We need all of them to have a creative output done. Suppose you were in the thing of podcast.
Hmm.
How many people
Would
technically
actually
skilled
know.
are actually behind you?
Hmm.
Suppose you are looking at somebody,
Hmm.
how do you tap them? So creative community is the space you can go and find those people who are listed there. You can do that thing, business with them directly, so that it opens up a huge market.
So is it only functional for people in and around
No,
Bhubaneswar?
it's a global thing. It's a global thing.
Okay.
So we are onboarding people. We had some teething issues about, not the people who are skilled or they are creative. They do not know how to create an account and give their details. They're very
Oh.
slow in responding to that. So we are actually thinking of handholding them into doing that. Suppose somebody has 15 publications. So you want them to list that. So the old writer is not really keen on getting those details and punching that in the database to show that, okay, these are all my books. So we're really happy to show that, this is the picture of my book. So we are encouraging him to do that. And we also did another thing when the last year, when Bhubaneswar became 75-year-old. The real history is the oral history. People remember those days. So we went around and captured about 30 or 40, I don't remember the number, people who are almost like the age of 90.
Okay.
So the adolescent was in Bhubaneswar. So they vividly remember, how
What times they have
Bhubaneswar.
seen.
So as since we captured their stories, so that's called oral history of Bhubaneswar. How Bhubaneswar was, the buses at that time.
So these are all separate links, or is
Separate
that they're
links.
all present under one umbrella?
Yes. No, they're all separate.
Separate links.
I'll share the links with you. Then we also did another thing called, to promote our literature to the outside world. Translation is the only medium,
method.
the method. So we started it in 2023, 22, called Tosali Literature Festival. So about 50, 60 very prominent writers, they come here. We do that in the first weekend of February every year. What we do there is actually basically we expose our literature to them, and we also know about them.
Their
So
literature.
that becomes a platform on which actually
Of exchange.
exchange of translation and all those things happens. And we also instituted an award. This is called after Jayanta Mahapatra, our most prominent poet of Odisha. And it has been this will be the third year. We'll be giving a national award of about 50,000 rupees award every.
To an upcoming writer.
Not upcoming writer, established writer, but not
Established.
highly decorated or highly awarded, but somebody who
Is under-recognized.
Under-recognized, and we do that. And we have been doing that.
Fantastic. I mean, how do you manage so many things?
That's if you really want to do something, if you ask me honestly, I perhaps is the person who has the most leisure time available. So when you want to do multiple things, it's not necessary that they have to eat into your
Day schedule.
You just have to plan it well. And you can't do everything at the same time. You have to plan it, sequence it, and develop that method of staying focused on what you are doing
in the present.
And allot a particular time. Suppose you want to do certain things, you say, okay, fine, 2 hours I'm going to do this. But that shouldn't turn you into a machine. It should program you in such a way that your thinking hat comes and starts working with you when you are actually focusing on that.
It should be very conditioned.
And secondly, you should not also distract, other things should not distract you. Suppose you are thinking of one thing, you are doing one thing, but thinking of the 10 other things, then that's distraction. So with age, you train yourself. And that's mostly because you are driven by a purpose. There's a driven by the desire to deliver something by a certain date or time. So then you know how to schedule it. It's not very difficult. And I, as a person, don't socialize much. Like
that saves you a lot of time.
Yeah, it saves a lot of time. I avoid socializations of most of the kinds. I don't socialize much. I have my dogs. I have my gardens to
tend to.
Yeah. And in the era of social media, you are socializing 24/7. You are seeing other people. You're
virtually, but it is socializing.
Yes. So you are connected. You are not alone.
Right. Wow, this was such a fantastic conversation. I mean, you're like too many people in one person. So this was very motivating, very inspiring, and the kind of things you have been into, the kind of things you want to do for the younger generation of Bhubaneswar that are coming forward. So any parting words to the new generation of Bhubaneswar? Yeah,
that is, you have to really think in terms of doing something. Don't only think of bagging a job somewhere or getting that I will take this position, take this job, and be done with it. There are 100 things that you can do. This is unlike our times when we have to have a doctor, an engineer, a lawyer, or an IS officer, things like that. These days, things have opened up. Think of your skill, think of your niche, and do something unconventional,
Out of the box.
out of the box, experiment, be creative. Because a society is identified by people who are actually unconventional in their approach. It's not about the regular things.
Hmm.
How many engineers do you remember? How many doctors do you remember? But you remember the cinematographer. You remember the man who made the cinema. Our identity, our asmita will be around those things. In my parents' time, there was financial insecurities. In my time, we had to have some kind of safety and security. I think my son shouldn't be falling into that trap of ensuring that I am safe first. He can take risk.
Hmm.
He can fall.
I think that's one advantage that this new
This
generation
generation
has.
has. So your parents have the safety net for you.
Hmm.
Use that safety net for a launch pad.
Hmm.
Even if you fall,
Hmm.
there are somebody to really swing you back into the swing.
You won't fall back all the way
All
back,
the way
right?
back, yeah. Learn from it. Learn
Hmm.
from it. But it's not late to start something on your own. It's not that you have to have a job to be identified as somebody who has done something. Do something. Go to the jungles, take photography, be a wildlife photographer. Why not? Be a movie maker, be a painter. Because the society celebrates and identifies those people as their icons. Be
Who
a
are
good
different.
singer. They will not remember which position you were at, whether you are a chief engineer or engineer in chief. There are in dozens, there are hundreds.
Hmm.
And they're retiring every day. They're joining every day. So what? Do something differently.
Thank you so much, Jay. Thank you so much. You could not have put this any better. It was such a good, candid conversation that I had, and I got so much to take away from this and so much to learn from. And I'm sure people who are watching us today are also going to take away a lot of things. And like I mentioned before, every link, every Udaygiri Foundation, Creative Commune, and everything else that we have talked about throughout this podcast, we'll put the links in the description down below. Definitely check them out, and if it appeals to you, take away. And definitely let us know on the comment section below how you like today's episode and what maybe you would like to see next. Until then, please take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Taniya. It was wonderful speaking to all of you.
Thank you.
It was really, really good.